It's no exaggeration to say that our world depends on photosynthesis. But what is photosynthesis? We all know it has something to do with light, and it has something to do with chlorophyll. But how does it work? If you ask those questions of high school students who have taken biology, many of them will be able to tell you all the key biochemical details. They'll be able to tell you what goes on in photosystem 1, what goes on in photosystem 2, for example, what goes on in the grana, what goes on in the stroma, what happens to the chemical ADP, what happens to the chemical ATP, so forth. But when I ask many of those students, okay, so why do plants need light? They have no idea. Our educational system crams their heads with lots and lots of details, but students often don't see how all those little details fit together, and they don't see the big picture very well. So here's my version of the big picture of photosynthesis. Here's some batteries. I'm going to charge them up. Okay, so they're charging. Eventually that light is going to turn green. I don't think we'll wait for that. My cell phone works the same way. I can charge that up too. My not so fancy cell phone. Plug it in. Eventually the little red light should come on, tell us that it's being charged. Yes. Once the light turns green, the phone is charged. Once the phone's charged, I can call my friends. I can run my electric car when the battery's charged. Here's my electric car. Oops, I better put the batteries in. Take them out of the battery charger. Put the batteries in here. Okay, the batteries are charged up. I can run my electric car. Fantastic. I think a Chevy Volt will run something like 100 miles, and then you have to charge up the battery again. Because running the car or using your cell phone drains the battery, and so you'll need to recharge it again. That's pretty much what happens in photosynthesis. The chlorophyll that we find in plants and algae and seaweed has the amazing ability to use light energy, photons of light energy, to charge the batteries of photosynthesis. That charging of the batteries can only take place in the light. The batteries can't be charged in the dark. Once they're charged, the batteries are used by the plants and seaweeds and algae to build sugar molecules from the carbon atoms in carbon dioxide gas. That's right. Sugars contain carbon. There's the carbon right there. And that carbon comes from the air. It comes from carbon dioxide in the air. Or if the plant or seaweed or algae is living in the water, the carbon comes from the carbon dioxide that's dissolved in water. But it's still coming from carbon dioxide. And that can happen in the light or in the dark once the batteries are charged up. The batteries of photosynthesis then get discharged in the process of turning the carbon dioxide into sugars. And then the batteries need to be recharged again by light energy.